Hey everybody, it's Mars, and I decided that I was going to do my final thoughts on an anime. It's called Gunslinger Girl. And at first I had heard of this anime before, but I never thought much of it. It reminds me a lot of an anime called Monster. And if you've seen Monster, that anime is amazing. But it's very dark, a lot of psychological. And this show has to do with like the government and how it's twisted, and that's my chair, sorry. How there's a lot going on behind the scenes with the government that you're not aware of. So what it is that they focus on this one character named Jose, which his name is spelled awfully weird. I think that they're in, I don't know if they ever say where they are, but it takes place a lot in Spain, Italy. They talk about Germany and they speak German, but it's like in that area. And it has to do with people that usually either worked in the military or anything. They end up working for this special department, Section 2. I think there's Section 2? Section 2? Yes, Section 2. And what they do is, it starts off with Jose, and they show you his ins and outs of his job. And they show him with a little girl named Henrietta. And what they do is, this little girl named Henrietta, her family was murdered. And they kept her captive for 24 hours and she was sexually abused and whatnot. So she was just broken mentally. And what the government does is that with like orphans and people that are going to die, they turn them into cyborgs. So they would put them with cyborg parts, with artificial muscle and tissues. And that way they would also brainwash them, because when they were at a certain age, when they're children, they're a lot easier to brainwash than it would be for adults. So they brainwash her so that she forgets, and they pretty much become tools. So there's Henrietta, which I just told you about, and there's Leos, which is Jose's friend, which is another guy. And he has Triela, okay. And she is, like, they're all different with their, what do they call them? I don't know, they're pretty much like child holders. And Triela, did they ever touch base on her backstory? I don't remember. I don't remember hers. But then there's also Clace, and it's sad about hers. They really don't go much into hers, but her partner is like, he can't treat her as a cyborg, which Jose's the same way, because they look like little kids and they're normal. So he would go fishing with Clace and they'd go out and stuff. And then he dies and she freaks. So they brainwash her and then she just completely forgets everything. And then they use her for further testing to see how much they can work. Or they have this thing called conditioning, where if your partner doesn't listen to you, like the child doesn't listen to the actual officer, if you would, I don't know what you would call them anyways. If they don't listen to you, or if they're not loyal, then you give them conditioning. And the more conditioning you give, which is brainwash, and pretty much you add. Okay, so what I was saying is that they'd give them conditioning whenever they're not loyal enough. But the more conditioning you give this cyborg child, then their lifespan is shortened. So they're not planned to live that long. But it's really, really deep. It's very sad. They have the backstory of Rico, and her partner, which is Jean. And he's just a dick. He's just mean, but he sees her as a tool. So he doesn't want to have any sort of personal attachment to her. But her story was, her parents were in a financial bind, and was it her? Was it Rico? Or was it Clay? Or was it Angie? I can't remember. They have all very tragic backstories. One of them gets run over by their own parents because of an insurance claim that they wanted to do for life insurance, because they were having hard times financially. So they're known as the welfare services, for child welfare. And that's pretty much, they turn the kids into cyborgs. But It's really good story. It's just like the daily lives of what it is and showing them getting close together and how they interact with the cyborgs. It's really good. I didn't expect much from it, but it's a very dark anime. Like even the art style and the colors that they choose, it's just all dark. You don't see a lot of bright colors. So it was really good. I recommend it. I gave it, I want to say I gave it an 8 or a 9. The ending was kind of like, meh, like, and then I watched season 2. And season 2, I felt like season 2 wasn't even needed. Like, it was just whole different voice actors. The art style, a different studio took over. So I think Madhouse did the first season, and then the second one was taken over by someone else, which I can't think of off the top of my head. But the second season was like all bright colors, and they looked happy, and it was just out of character. I don't know how I felt about it. I felt like it wasn't needed. It does give a lot of backstory with Triela and how she has this inner conflict of how she wants to fight someone, but then has no satisfaction because she realizes that person was just like her. So, I don't know. Season 2 wasn't needed. Season 1, I recommend. I think it was great. I really liked it. I just finished watching it. But season 2 was, whatevs. It was okay. But that's my thoughts on Gunslinger Girl. Good anime. I like dark anime like that. And as I mentioned before, Monster is amazing. So I think I might rewatch it. If you know any other ones that are dark like that, like Ergo Proxy, amazing. I like those kind of animes. Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully this wasn't boring. I know a lot of you guys don't like constant chatter, and I talk a lot. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, comment below for any animes that you recommend that are similar in the same type of genre. But thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!